Good day, everyone. Today, we're gonna do a book review. This novel is titled Bridge to Terabithia, written by the acclaimed American author Catherine Patterson in 1977, and has since become a classic of children's literature, winning the prestigious Newbery Medal. The story is set in the 1970s in a rural primary farming community in Lark Creek, Virginia. During this time, many families in rural America were faces economic hardships, and that culture was quite traditional, where boys were expected to be manly and help with farm work, and families were often large and struggling to make ends meet. So Catherine Patterson wrote this book based on a real-life tragedy involving her son's best friend, which gives the story its deeply personal and authentic emotional tone. This novel is a realistic fiction. While Terabithia sounds like a fantasy land, the magic exists only in the mind of the children. So this book deals with real life issues like poverty, bullying, and the sudden nature of death. The main characters in this novel are Jesse Aarons and Leslie Burke. Jesse Aarons is a 10-year-old boy who likes to draw, but he hides his drawings because his father thinks art is just a waste of time. He is lonely and craves for his father's approval. And Leslie Burke, she is the new girl who moved into the old Perkins place next door. She is fast, fearless, and highly imaginative. Her parents are intellectuals who moved to the country to reassess their values. The conflict in the story is both internal and external. In internal, this is where Jess struggled to find his own identity and deal with his fears, and the external, which is the tragedy that changes everything. While Jess is away on a trip with his teacher, Leslie tries to cross the rain-swollen creek alone. The rope snaps and she tragically drowns. The final part of the book focuses on Jess' journey through the stages of grief denial, anger, and eventually acceptance. The major theme of this novel is the power of imagination. Terabithia is a symbol of how creativity can help people survive difficulty. It's where Jess learns to see the world differently. The significant symbols of this novel are the rope and the bridge. The rope is a fragile connection to childhood and imagination. When it breaks, the magic of childhood is lost. However, at the end, Jess builds a permanent wooden bridge. This symbolizes his maturity and his decision to keep Leslie's spirits alive by sharing the magic of Terabithia with his younger sister, Mabel. In this story, the author uses contrast effectively, comparing the gray or just home life with the golden and colorful world of Terabithia. She also uses foreshadowing, such as heavy rains and the mentions of the dangerous creek, which build tension before the tragedy. One of the most important lessons that I learned in this story is empathy. At first, Jess and Leslie hate the school bully Janice Avery. But later, they realize that Janice has a difficult life at home. So this teaches us that everyone is fighting a battle we know nothing about. Reading this story makes me realize that growing up isn't just about getting older. It's about how we handle the hard things that happen to us. Just becomes a king not because he sits on a throne, but because he finds his strength to take care of his sister and family after his world falls apart. In today's world, where many people feel isolated and judged for being different, Bridge to Terabithia reminds us the value of finding a tribe, even if that tribe is one other person. That connection can save you. And it also speaks to the modern need for children to have unstructured play, time away from screens, and in nature where they can just be themselves. That would be all for today's video. Bye guys!